Hey there, Person here. Have you seen that Hearthstone has this new sale where you can spend $20 and you get multiple skins for that? Wow, that's a deal. That's worth $20 for sure. At the moment as well, there's an ongoing Blizzard sale. Pretty much every game in here has something that is reduced by like 10 to 30%. It's insane. And then you take a look at Hearthstone and it's so overwhelmingly sad because there's like nothing on sale and there's like literally nothing. You can purchase one portrait. So I looked at that and I was like, wow, this is sad. So because of that, I thought, let's compare prices in other games and see how bad it is when it comes to Hearthstone. Or how good it is, because maybe it turns out well. Also, Blizzard was like, wow, we love you so much. Here are 5 giveaway codes. So what I want to say is I have some bundle codes. So if you want to win one of those bundles, then like, sub, sacrifice your first child, and join the Church of Scientology. Now, for real, like, leave a comment or I don't care. I will pick one of you, maybe 2, in I don't know when I feel like it. Just make sure that you actually play Hearthstone, because the last couple times, actually every time I did a giveaway in the past year, somebody won who doesn't play the game. And when I try to give them the code, they're like, oh wow, yeah, actually I have no use for that. I don't play the game. So I hope you play the game, whoever wins. But now let's take a look at the Hearthstone shop first, so we can get an idea of the prices we have at the moment. Right now you can pre-purchase the bundle in the top left for I think 50 or 60 bucks, and it gives you 60 packs, 2 legendaries and cosmetics. With the packs and the pity timer, you might get up to 6 legendaries that are all random and you can't decide. And then you have 6 out of 23 legendaries in the next set, plus the Flight Master who was free. So like 7 out of 23. That's pretty bad. You can buy the skin, which is even included in the bigger bundle. But if you take a look at the bigger bundle over here, that cost 80. Get a bunch of packs, get some legendaries. Overall for 80 euros or $80. For I don't know what reason, the conversion rate just doesn't exist. It's like 80 of whatever currency. So if I were to spend euros on that, well, I have to pay like 25% extra, so that's dumb. But yeah, you get all of that for 80 bucks. Then also the portraits. You get 3 portraits that, to be honest, look really pretty for Hearthstone portraits, and a cool card back for 20 bucks. We used to have Magni, Illyria, and Medivh as the only portraits you could purchase, and those are 10 bucks each. So getting 3 for 20, that's like $10 off your JPEGs, of your animated GIFs. Sorry, GIFs. So that's like the base, what we have right now. But in order to actually make a comparison, and not just throwing out numbers of stuff you can buy right now, let's think about which decks can you play or should you play at the moment, and how much dust do they actually cost. The average pack contains roughly 100 dust if you add up everything over time. Meaning if a deck costs 5000 dust, you gotta open roughly 50 packs and disenchant absolutely everything in there. But here's the upside. You don't get duplicate comments and you probably have most of the rares anyways. Like I would assume if you just open X amount of packs every expansion from your gold, there's like no common and no rare that you're missing. But let's take a look at a good deck in Wild in both cases, whether you count the commons and the rares in or not. If you look at Secret Mage, that is not too expensive. You play like 1 or 2 legendaries maximum, and the deck overall is solid for the past like 2 years, and that's the only deck you ever need if you want to play and get to legend. Maybe Darkleer Warlock would be a little bit more expensive, couple more epics, more legendaries, but all those decks stay the same in Wild. So if you want to have one competitive deck, then Hearthstone is not paid to win at all. This is completely free, you just gotta finish a couple quests. But let's take a look at Standard right now. Let's say we had to play this Priest, which wasn't really around in that form last expansion. That's a little bit more expensive. And if there's a new expansion every couple months that actually changes the standard meta, and you need to craft a new deck like this every expansion, you can make like 1 or 2. To put in my own data here, I always pre-order both expansions, so I get like 145 packs, and then I buy another 120 and craft the rest from the dust I get. So after spending roughly $200 to $250, I get every card in one expansion, which by the way is not needed. Most of the cards suck and you don't need them. So when it only comes to playing like 1 or 2 good decks, it's roughly 50 to 100 per expansion depending on the deck you play, and if you want to have the deck at the beginning of the expansion or near the end. With those numbers in our giant hat, I think we should take a look at other games now. Let's take a look at Runeterra for example. Everything you can buy in here is bought with the coins you have up there. You can't just buy it using gold or any of the in-game tickets, you gotta pay for this with real money. You can buy different boards, different cards, or like wild cards to craft any card you would like to have. You can buy skins, you can buy packages, you can even buy emotes if you really want to BM your opponents. The prices for this? Kinda expensive. It's roughly 100 coins for €1. You want to have one single board skin? You gotta spend 10 euros on that, probably more. You want to craft 10 legendaries and wild cards? You gotta spend roughly $35 on that. You were to say, wow, this game is actually expensive, until you realize something. You realize that there are so many quests in this game that you kind of get the entire game for free. Like when it comes to actually playing the cards, not cosmetics. There are some cosmetics and card packs you can unlock through event quests, but everything else, you know, you gotta spend some money. So I thought, let's just ask Reddit, and with me I mean somebody else 6 months ago, if Legends of Runeterra is pay to win, because it's always praised as the free-to-play game. And they say if you play casually, you can make any meta deck every 2 weeks. It is pay to win in the same sense most collectible card games are. If you have no cards and want to go straight to a top tier deck, you will have to pay for the cards for the deck. And that is true. I even checked out the game recently, which is tomorrow's video by the way. And I noticed that just by logging in, like not even by doing a quest or anything like that, I had enough dust to craft one of the top decks. Like all I did was I logged in once a week to click on my weekly vault, where I get like a bunch of stuff for free. Never done a quest, and I could craft like a decent deck. So what's the price of Runeterra? Pretty much nothing. And if you want to make it fast, maybe like 30-40 bucks, just so you can buy yourself a couple good cards. And everything else is just cosmetics, so for that, it's really cheap. But next, another card game, a fan favorite. You played The Witcher? No? You've seen The Witcher series? Well, did they play Gwent in there? I think they didn't actually. So I tried that game too recently, which is going to be next week's video. Let's take a look at how expensive Gwent is, because in order to get stuff in here, you gotta open card packs, and you actually gotta spend money on that. But how much money? Let's find out. So where you get a free login bonus in Gwent, and we can also tip somebody, I think 5 units, forget the name, after a game, so you can be like GG's. But what I want to show you is this reward book. Like this thing is insane. So you can see all those different things that you can click on, right? You have like Nilfgaard, Scoia'tael, Skellige, which are like the different factions in this game. When you click on any of those, you will see a reward track that looks like this. You can use the keys you have up there in the corner, which you get just by playing and achieving stuff, and then you can unlock things as you want to. So if you want to get the currency in order to buy more card packs, you can unlock this one if you want to. And then it unlocks the path for the next ones. I think you have 4 maps. Yeah, you got 4 maps full of different stuff that you can click on. Every single thing you can click on has one of those unlockable thingies. The thing is, just by playing the game, you constantly get stuff and you can decide what you get from your stuff. But to the actual price in the shop, everything in here is only purchasable for money besides the card packs. You can buy those for the all you unlocked earlier. The people I talked to when I played this game, they all mentioned you never have to spend any money, and if you were to spend money, you actually get a great deal. Like it's not even false advertisement. For example, this thing in here, you can buy the entire expansion, and I mean the entire expansion and the animated cards, so like the golden cards in Hearthstone, for 50 bucks. And you get different cosmetics as well, bonus items, and you also get a couple cards on the next couple expansions that this one is part of. So if you compare this to Hearthstone, where you have to spend 50 or 60 bucks for 60 packs, and you get like 3 or 4 or 5 legendaries if you're lucky, this one gives you everything. This is a pretty good deal. Also, they got Thronebreaker right now, which is like a 40 to 50 hour mini game, where you still play Gwent, so you still play the card game, but also have like a base that you build out, and you get so many different things in there. Like when I played this game last week, and people talked about this, they absolutely loved this one. So when it comes to Gwent, pretty good deal. And when I then searched on Google to figure out if Gwent is pay to win or not, I stumbled upon this post on Steam, instead of Reddit, from like a year ago. And I think everybody in here just says no. Like literally, no. You can spend money to get stuff faster, but no. I left Hearthstone from Blizzard because they pay to win. Better than Hearthstone, I feel like those comments kind of fit. It's pretty rewarding, almost get complete the set of faction without spending real money. And even when I streamed the game on Twitch and I talked to a couple of Gwent players, they all mentioned that there's so much in the game that you can do. You have so many different achievements, and the maps where you can unlock stuff are pretty much endless. Like I talked to one who plays this game on a daily basis for the past 3 years, and they're not done unlocking stuff yet. So after 3 years of playing the game, they didn't run out of free stuff they get. And they have every card without ever spending a single cent. To be fair, you can also say that about Hearthstone if you play like Arena every single day for like 3 hours straight and have a good rating. So I don't know how much that comes into the Gwent argument. But the whole point is, for spending close to no money in Gwent, you get an entire expansion, every single thing is also animated, and you get the next 2 additions to that as well. And if you buy the Battle Pass, you get a ton of free stuff. And if you buy the little mini game, Thronebreaker, you have like 40 hours of single player gameplay, and you get cards for that. So it's like an adventure in Hearthstone, but a lot better. And at this point I realize Hearthstone is pretty bad. Oh, I love the game though. And there are 2 more things we gotta take a look at, the other 2 big card games, and that is Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! When it comes to both card games in real life, it's really expensive. If you ever bought a booster pack, it's like $4 to $5 euros, and you usually get garbage. Like, I mean, you see my background, right? This is Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff from like 20 years ago. I've been collecting cards for a long time. And if I really think back to what I got out of those packs, which is literally gambling,
this chubby little fucker is coming into your DMs and slapping your ass. How about that?
I got my money's worth like maybe 10 times. Most of the time you just waste money. But it's fun, because it's gambling. Same is true for Magic. If you ever looked at like a competitive Magic deck, like an entry-level deck, they go for like what? Couple $100 to couple thousands? And in both games, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic, there are a couple cards that are really good, but are like short printed, so they only appear like once per booster box, which drives the price to the moon. And because of that, sometimes you just buy a set of 3 cards for like 400, 500. So for both games, because they're useful in real life and you can collect the cards and all of that, the games are insanely expensive. Definitely more expensive than Hearthstone. Same with Pokemon also. If you just try to buy things in real life and have the actual item in your hand, yeah, no, that's too expensive. But now to the digital versions, to actually playing the game online. When it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh, you can play Duel Links, where you gotta buy a bunch of booster boxes, which is also a little bit random of what you get. And I've seen people spending a couple $100 just getting like 3 cards. But then you can also play on Duel Link Book, which is completely free. Same with Duel Link Nexus and Duel Link whatever. Basically any Yu-Gi-Oh! Online game that is not Duel Links is free to play. They might not look pretty, but it's more about the part that you play the game instead of look at animations. And for Magic, it was kind of expensive, little bit. When I played the game last year for a series where I tested different card games, I think I got like 30 to 40 packs for free just by logging in and entering different codes. But the deck that I tried to make with all of those cards was just complete garbage. And even as Reddit says, you either have to be good at playing the game and playing limited, or you gotta make some initial investment. So for the actual prices of the MTG Arena client, I'm not sure. Just gonna be honest here. But it's very likely more expensive than Gwent and Legends of Runeterra. But now back to the actual question of this video, if I titled it the correct way. Is Hearthstone too expensive? And the answer is maybe. No, I won't do this. Yes, the game is too expensive. Let's just be honest here, the game is too expensive. Guaranteed. I won't be the guy who's like, well, it depends. Yeah, of course it depends. But spending between 6 and 10 bucks per animated JPEG that you have per hero skin, that's pretty expensive. I would like to buy those with gold or unlock them through a quest. Like right now we have this legendary quest line where you gotta do a lot of boring stuff, but eventually you unlock the portrait from a Furion. And that's pretty cool. I can do stuff in the game and get rewarded for it. Why doesn't that exist for like every class? And it's like a quest you can choose or start on your own if you want to. That would be sick. Then for the expansions, if I already pre-ordered the expansion from my own money, why can't I choose what the legendary cards are that I get? Why don't I get a ticket like in Runeterra to craft any legendary I want to? Like imagine you were to go to a cinema. However, the ticket has random on it and there are different movies in the cinema. You go there to watch one movie, but in the end, you gotta watch a random one. Maybe you get lucky and you can watch the movie you want to. Or you get unlucky, like in most cases, and you get to see a movie you don't even care about. And that is exactly how Hearthstone is when it comes to pre-ordering expansions. Why can't we choose what legendary we get? We spent money on this. Obviously, you can just craft it afterwards, but doesn't it feel bad to get a legendary card and then it's like 400 dust, so you can craft an epic of your choice? Feels terrible. Also, old adventures. Why do they cost $25? Why 25? Make them A, purchasable for gold, like all the wild packs, or B, just make them free. Free in terms of play the adventure and against the NPCs, you can still buy the cards, I guess, and sell those for like 10 bucks or whatever. Or 1,000 gold. But why keep cool content behind a paywall? That sucks. But hey, let's look at the upside. I own all the cards and have 100,000 dust, so the rich get richer. Good job me. Don't forget about the giveaway, where I get codes for free from Blizzard. Thank you, Big Daddy Blizzard. Appreciate it. Let me know what you think, comment something to enter the giveaway thingy, and this Blizzard shill over here signs off.